I'm here with David Shaw, Program Chair, and Richard Duffy, who is the souvenir book editor of Readercon. You may not have heard of it, you may have heard of it, but we're going to find out from the guys themselves what this con is all about. Gentlemen.
Hi.
Hi there, you want to go first?
Sure. Readercon is we're hosting Readercon 21, so we've obviously done 20 of these things before. We started in about 1987 with the idea that there weren't enough science fiction conferences that were mostly about the actual reading and writing that made the field what it is. And we started out pretty small, and we now host about 150 professional authors and editors, and we typically have about 500 to 600 people who come every single year.
Wow. Workshops, presumably?
There is a writer's workshop that's run privately. That's a separate sign-up thing that happens. There's panel discussions, there are talks, there's presentations, author readings, autograph sessions. Our dealer's room sells nothing but books. So if you
So if you're coming for a t-shirt, turn around.
Well, we do, some people do sell the t-shirts, but the t-shirts are ancillary to their book sales.
Got it.
Yeah.
But if you're there for antlers or a stuffed animal
or leather
wear or cyberpunk, steampunk stuff, you're out of luck.
Okay, good.
I can just kind of recap a little bit of the original history. The founders, Bob Colby and Eric Van, were going to cons in the early and mid-'80s and enjoying themselves, but getting a little bit annoyed that there was all this focus on the media and the Star Trek and the Star Wars, and they enjoyed that, but they really wanted to know where the stuff was about the books, in a really serious way. And finally, Bob decided, well, if it's not out there, we're going to have to start it ourselves. So, not to say that others have not done such a thing, but we really made it our mission from the beginning. And but the thing is, we're not snobs about it. We love to have fun, and just everyone comes and it really does have a very interesting and fun time talking about the books.
Right. Well, what I find interesting, and it's funny because my background is in advertising, and it's interesting. So many of the cons, like you have sort of mentioned, have included so much stuff to attract so many people that they become almost a joke in a way that there is no, for example, hardly any comics that you can find at Comic-Con. Now it's all big media.
Right.
And so the idea that you have a con specifically focused on really what is the core of our community, the reading, I think is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. You have something here that you wanted to talk about, you were saying, Richard?
Well, most conventions devoted to SF have a program book. BosCon does have one this year. And we have we do this, but it's kind of a little more in-depth. We have a program guide which lists all the panels and things. That's a separate publication. And then the program book is devoted to the guests of honor. There are typically 2 of them each year. And we also have a memorial guest of honor, someone from the past. And so we do all sorts of pieces on them, usually a fairly complete bibliography of each one.
Right. A typical souvenir book will have a complete bibliography from each of all 3 of the guests of honor, both the current ones and the memorial guest of honor. Frequently there is either a unique written for the book piece by each of the guests, or something that they have that is previously unpublished, or an excerpt from a forthcoming novel. We've done all 3 of these things.
Real brain candy.
In fact, a lot of the last year's BosCon book has a piece from one of our guests of honor, and it's in the credits, first appearance, Readercon souvenir book. So even though the rights referred back to the author, they're always very nice to us about making sure that we are always listed as first publication when the unique pieces come along.
And we try to get some nice original art for the cover. Some years color, some years not. And
Richard Powers, Joey Zone, Hal Clement, a local photographer that we know. So it's and we try to make the cover somewhat thematically related to the guests, but that doesn't always happen.
Right.
These books are, people don't read them at the con because there's a lot to go through, but we get emails after the con about 2 weeks later. I can't believe that story that you had in the souvenir book. So it's a point of pride with us that we have a nice, well presented overview of the authors that you can review after the con.
And what would you say, you might have answered this, I don't remember, what would you say your average attendance every year is for Readercon?
Well,
500 to
everybody
600?
all together, 600-ish.
Yeah.
You know. It
Wow,
has gone
so
as high,
that-
as almost 900.
And I love it. So it's a wonderful, small, intimate setting with mainly writers and editors in the field. So for anybody who just wants to get into the grist of the genre, this sounds like the perfect con for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, well let's move on now and talk about your guests of honor for Readercon this year.
They are Nolan Hopkinson, who lives in, is it Toronto these days?
Yes.
And Charles Strauss from England.
Sure.
He's here at BosCon this weekend. Nalo used to come to Readercon year after year, and then she kind of took some time off. And
Well,
then
she also got busy writing,
Yeah.
so
Right?
we were happy to have her come as a guest of honor. And you know, Charlie is, by coming to Readercon, he's pretty much claimed the sweep of all of the East Coast science fiction
Yeah.
cons.
And it looks like we beat BosCon to the scoop on that. He's going to be guest of honor.
He's guest of honor next year at BosCon, Readercon this year. He was at PhilCon in 2006. He was at Balticon in
Oh, yes.
2009. So that's
Right.
pretty much
Well,
all the major ones.
Eitan and I had the honor of paneling with Charlie in at Worldcon Anticipation on economics and science fiction.
I
And he
was at that panel.
Yeah, so he
I
was
saw that.
very entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, I don't know Nalo is
Nalo.
Nalo. I don't know Nalo. I certainly know that Charles is guaranteed to be entertaining.
Oh, she's a wonderful reader. She was also at Anticipation, so we managed to introduce ourselves to her then, and we're really looking forward to having her read and what she contributes to the book.
Okay, and when is Readercon again?
July 8th through 11th
July 8th through 11th.
this summer in Burlington, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. You can take a public transportation to within a 40-minute bus ride of there. There's an hourly bus, which isn't so great. We're going to work on seeing what we can do to improve that.
Okay, well, gentlemen, thank you for being on neverendingpanel.com. And
One final plug,
please.
if you want to learn more about Readercon, just go to readercon.org.
READERCOM.
And we will, since it is the web and we have the magic capability of editing, we will super that website over this
Okay,
interview.
excellent. Great.
Thank you very much,
Thanks so
gentlemen.
much.
Thank you.